Welcome, residents, to the Dr. DC podcast. My name is producer Richard, and across from me is the Doctor himself.
Hello.
Each week, we talk about the weird and wonderful world of DC while fielding questions from listeners like you.
Like you, baby.
We are back in the studio, baby.
Were we not?
No.
We did the Angor one in the studio,
Did
didn't
we?
Didn't we?
Did we?
No, we didn't. Oh, it's just that I spend every waking hour with you.
Not enough.
You're right. We almost moved in together tonight.
I mean, that's true, yeah. I'm looking at a house, and there's a room for
We're
one more.
looking at a house.
Yes. There's room for one more. We got a review.
Woo!
A 5-star review, number 121. From Facebook. From Michael Haggerty.
Yeah. Yeah, after Van Halen left the band, then it was Michael Haggerty.
Michael Haggerty. If you want a podcast filled with coughing and subsequent fainting.
Twice.
Then this is the podcast for you.
Why are you saying it like a
I don't know. This is how I made Michael Haggerty.
Right, yeah.
It brought me into it. Before listening to this podcast, I couldn't go on. My life was dreary and nothing worked. Viagra? No. Blue Chew? But then hope upon the horizon as my ears tingled by the dulcet tones of this Canadian duo. Because of this podcast, my wife didn't leave me. Thank you, boys, for raising me up so I could stand on mountains. You raised me up to walk on stormy seas.
Jesus Christ.
5 out of 5 boots. But seriously, amazing, funny, and full of information. Best nerd pod out there.
Well, thank you, Michael,
Yarr.
for basically saying we
Got you hard?
get you hard.
Yeah.
Does that mean you put like? Now, here's the question:
Mm-hmm.
do you have a little earbud in and you listen to an episode while you're going to town, or do you and the partner go like, let's put on Dr. DC podcast instead of putting on like sexy jams?
Oh.
Like, let's put on the For Tomorrow episode.
Let's see if we can match the rhythm.
Abrupt stop.
Yeah.
Wait.
Let's put them on 1.5 speed.
Oh,
I heard,
God.
I was reading the doc score today, and apparently Bruno listens to us at 1.5 speed.
Well, that's why he's missing all the nuance and everything that we say.
Yeah, that dead space, that's where it lives, baby.
It's all the subliminal messaging lives in there. If
It's
you're
all
listening to it that fast, you're going to break the brainwashing.
It's the nuance in all of the content.
We
you
can't
don't
afford
hear.
that good brainwashing. You got to listen to it at normal speed.
That's right. Yeah, apparently he listens to a thing that actually cuts out the dead air.
Yeah, I think Pocket Casts can do that. I don't activate it because
Wow.
I usually don't trust AI things to be that good yet.
Yeah.
But
Wouldn't want to miss a second of this.
no, of course not. That's why I'm always here.
I don't want
That's why I've been sitting in your house for the last 3 hours.
You don't want to miss a second.
No. I don't want to fall asleep.
Because I love this podcast.
And my dad's singing while I fuck.
You say my dad's singing?
Yeah,
while
that's
I
what
fuck?
happens in that movie. Liv Tyler fucks Ben Affleck while her dad sings.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is what happens.
He's using an animal cracker.
What?
The animal cracker scene from Armageddon, he like... Ben Affleck and Liv Tyler, like he's like, oh, he's going on safari, and he takes this animal cracker, like sticks it down her pants.
Yeah, because there's like a whole thing with like the animal crackers.
Yeah, you know how yeast is supposed to go down your pants.
Oh no, she's gonna get infected.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Animal crackers in my cooch.
I should have thought that was what was coming, but I gotta tell you, I wasn't prepared.
Boy, oh boy.
Wow, you're a nuisance.
I mean, of the many things I know too much about,
Yeah.
Armageddon is among them.
Yeah, you can't passively. We've talked about this. You can't passively enjoy anything.
This is the way to enjoy things. Learn every piece.
I made a new friend. I'm going to do everything with them.
I'll work with them. We'll be best friends.
We're gonna buy a house together.
We're gonna buy a house together.
We got a lot of news this week. Fucking to the brim with news.
Okay.
I'm drowning in news. I'm gonna choke a little on the news.
Oh.
But I kind of like it. I'm gonna use a little teeth with this news. I have like some tears and my mascara's running, but I'm like into how much news there is. What?
Is the news going to come out your nose?
Yeah. You're right. These podcasts have gotten vile.
Really bad.
Yeah. First, oh God, no, what a transition. Why did I put this first? I could do it differently, but I'm not going to because I wrote it down and that's the way it has to go now.
We know that.
DC artist Robson Roca has passed away.
Yeah. Robson Roca,
Yeah.
a Brazilian artist, really kind of like a sort of rising star for DC, did all sorts of work, including some really great Aquaman stuff. He had been ill for quite
Beautiful art. Oh my God.
He had been ill for quite some time with like
COVID,
COVID-19
yeah,
and
fuck.
then complications.
Yeah.
And even a couple of weeks ago, I think there were some funds and stuff like that, like trying to help him out. But he passed away, which is extremely sad. I mean, it's always sad, no matter who they are.
But especially sad because he was actually a really good artist.
And from what I gather, like lovely to work with and a real sort of interesting talent and great creator and things like that. And
Yeah, a bunch of
sad that he's left his family.
Yeah.
His like wife and kids and stuff like that.
Yikes.
Yeah, just very
Young
very
guy,
sad
too.
stuff, and also this really horrific reminder that COVID is not over.
Yeah.
I think even for those of us who have like been fortunate enough to get double vaxxed, I think it's very easy to be like, we're back.
I'm getting quadruple vax.
But it's still, it's everywhere. It's all over the world. It's not necessarily getting better.
No.
It's it's really scary and horrible, and yeah. Kind of wish we had introed the news differently.
Come. Moving on. New Human Target title coming from Tom King and Greg Smallwood.
Yes.
You guys took my last name. What the hell?
I think he took your nickname.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, new Human Target series. This is going to be, it looks kind of like, not necessarily like literally, but like artistically, it looks very much like it's going to be set in sort of like the late 80s, early 90s. It's already
Human Target time. Yeah.
It's already invoking like the JLI,
Yeah.
like that lineup. We've seen stuff like that. The art looks really cool. It's going to be a Black Label series. This is the Tom King roll of the dice. Like something like that, I think is going to be great. I just read the first issue of Supergirl. I think it's terrible.
Oh, no.
Strange Adventures, I'm into. Heroes in Crisis, I think is terrible.
Is it Bruno?
I really like Mr. Miracle.
Is it Bruno that hates him?
Later in that, Bruno hates him.
Yeah.
Later in that Batman run, I think it's really bad. It's such a fucking roll of the dice with Tom King, but for my money, this is where it lines up. Something espionage-y, a little fun. If he's invoking the JLI, it'll be a little irreverent, in the way that Mr. Miracle was, and things like that. This to me feels like it's when the formula works, and we're not diverging too far from that. So I am excited.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. When Tom King's good, he's very good.
Basically,
Yeah. All right. Next. Disney's Marvel Studios and Warner Brothers DC Films to skip San Diego Comic-Con at home.
Right. DC kind of already did this last year, and DC Fandom was a really good success.
Yeah.
It was lots of fun, and lots of people got to participate, and it was this big free thing. People could just watch the streams, and there was lots of cool news and some interesting panels and stuff. It was like a really fun, awesome COVID-era experiment that was a huge success. It's not a surprise DC is doing it again. It's also not a surprise that now Marvel is like, well, if even DC can pull this
Yeah.
shit off.
Well, and then they've got D23 now.
They already have
and-
D23. I mean, and Disney just has this massive conglomerate. It's like, we don't need that. People want what we've got. We could do the Four Seasons total landscaping approach and people would show up.
Yeah.
They could like
I think
you know, like
the sad thing for me is that it's this like sort of bigger question about are these large like media conglomerates and stuff like that just going to basically like sequester themselves into these little islands, because like you're seeing it with E3, like everybody's pulling out of E3 now, everybody's pulling out of Comic-Con, and it's like ugh.
But everything moves in waves, and I
Yeah.
think, you know, for these things, this is the first time we're really hitting this wave. But think of something different, like department stores.
Yeah.
It started with little mom and pop shops, and then we got these big department stores, things like, you know, the Bay and Sears and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And then those got too big, and then it was like, no, we're gonna have a Blue Notes outlet, and we're gonna have a this outlet, and
Yeah.
whatever. And then department stores died, and then what took its place is like, well, you could buy everything on Amazon, and it all went there. And then we were like, Amazon's really evil, and it's like, well, I guess we should start shopping local again. There's always a cycle. And I feel like it'll be the same thing with this. Comic-Con got to literally like it's
Apex.
it's apex. It could not have gotten bigger.
Yeah.
And now these things are pulling back, and it's the same thing with streaming. Netflix kind of like had everything, and then now things are pulling back, and everyone's got their own services. But it's only going to be a matter of time until someone's like, "Do you know what would be really convenient for the customer if you could sign up in one spot and it got you access to all of these streaming services?" And then we'll just we'll just reinvent the thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like the same thing eventually will happen with cons. I think it's moving on a slower time scale than the rest of
Yeah.
those types of things, so it feels like it's really the end of something, but I don't think it is.
I just hate having to like
But also I think it's specifically because it's this at home thing. Like once Comic-Con
Yeah.
is back, now that's not to say DC or Marvel won't still do their own things elsewhere, or that maybe they'll hold back some of the real good stuff. But the idea that when there's a in-person San Diego Comic-Con that they're not going to have anyone there,
I don't know.
that feels unlikely. But even if
Look at E3.
yeah, I guess
This is the thing though, and I hate having to like chase down all of my like media companies.
I agree, but
It's
I
a
don't
thing that-
really know
Yeah,
what the workaround. I mean, let's put it this way: Comic-Con feels like there are parts of having everything under one roof that are amazing, and all these people come together, and you go to one panel, and then you go to one other one, and you go buy some comics, or you see a show, or whatever it is, right? But then also, like, how expensive did it get? How hard is it to book? There's like hundreds of thousands of people. Like, in a way, it's always in the same spot. And that, in a way, maybe it's better to break things up a bit.
I mean, it is
and
for like,
stuff like that.
comic creators and stuff. Like they're getting, because I mean, they really like Comic-Con is really
Because
like,
there's not enough time in the day to see everything. That, you know, like maybe as an industry, there's a potential to make more
yeah.
money. Not specifically like that one organization, but you know what I mean. Just artists can have more panels or
Yeah.
like there's maybe the potential for that, which I guess would be good. I don't know. I don't know enough about it, I guess. But
I just like, I'm so tired of like not knowing what's going on because everybody decided to do their own thing. Like PlayStation, now it's this, like, I'm like, well, they weren't part of E3, and I think they did like a direct, but I don't know when the next one is. I heard it's coming up. Like, I
Right.
just like don't know what's going on anymore because I'm like, I don't have the time to like follow everybody's fucking Twitter accounts and like check for tweets when like things are getting announced. Like,
right.
it's just too much. And I'm like, it was nice when everybody was ultra forced to do things on like one big like event, because then it's like, well, you saved up a bunch of your cool shit. And so it was easy for me to go, I'm going to watch this one thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to know what's going on for the rest of the year. I don't have to worry about it. Now I'm like, I feel like I'm constantly like on the edge being like, what's getting announced where today?
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true.
Just sucks.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyways, to some good news, Aquaman 2 is officially in production.
That's right. It's called Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. But its
yeah.
working title or its filming title is called like Necris or something. So
Mm.
I threw out there the Dead King,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
if you're using a title like that.
It'd be fucking rad.
I mean, it's fully all speculation at this point, but cool that it's in production.
Thank God.
You know, we always knew it was going to be in 2022. It's kind of crazy that we're actually that close. It's because we had like a full year and a half right
Yes.
off. We're jumping kind of back into life, and we're just picking up
I've been watching some
18
like
months later.
I've been watching some like Momoa like interviews and stuff like that, and it's like, oh yeah, he's in fighting shape again. Like it's crazy because he like I'll see him stuff throughout the year, and he's sort of like I'm like, oh, I thought he was in better shape.
I mean, he's never not in good shape, but I know what you mean. There's a big difference between like being vaguely in shape and then like the shredded cut.
Yes.
Like when for your shirtless scenes in movies and stuff like that.
I
right?
watched
Like,
him do a thing for like Jimmy Kimmel, and somebody was like guest hosting or something, and it was like he makes household items sexy or something like that. It's a very weird thing, but like he immediately takes off his shirt, and I was like, oh yeah. I was like, God.
Well, it's funny that you bring that up too, because I'm pretty sure we just had the final week of principal photography on Black Adam. Like that is done.
That's one of the pieces of
if you
news.
follow The Rock, I mean, The Rock's Instagram is odd because it's a lot of different things, and all of it is corporate speak.
Yeah, he's really become like a corporate
Yeah.
puppet.
We can't wait to bring this exciting brand to you.
Yes.
Which is like literally what we do for a living,
Yes.
but also like maybe
You don't talk like that,
use
though.
that word. Like,
Yeah.
just use anything else. But
We know how much you love this IP, and
I know it's so funny. Yes. This exciting IP, we expect this investment to pay off. And
Yeah.
it's like, all right, Rock, like it's energy drinks.
like also it's like people like they want to have a little bit of fantasy. Like don't just fucking shove it in dry. Like
He's almost like the opposite end of the same spectrum as Bo Burnham. Bo Burnham is like
Yes.
tearing down the artifice, and you're like, oh my god, you're right. And then The Rock is leaning so far into the artifice. It's like this Hunger Gamesian thing where it's
Yes.
like, you love your fucking brands, don't you?
yeah,
Like brands are your family
yeah.
now.
Consume this product.
They're like on one end is Bo Burnham, and the other is The Rock.
It's so weird.
But at any rate, where I was going with this is The Rock has talked a lot on his like Instagram and stuff about how, you know, we know already those shirtless scenes and that there's a very specific kind of diet and a
Yeah.
dehydration process and that to
Yeah.
get that crazy shredded. Hugh Jackman's talked about it and all that kind of stuff for Wolverine. The Rock has talked about how he had to do it for longer than most movies will let an actor do it. He was doing it for like a week and a half or something like that, just for I guess he's got his shirt off a lot or whatever.
Yeah,
But like to, you know, deliver the goods or whatever. But it's kind of crazy when you think about that. So then when you start seeing Momoa training again, you go like, okay, that's the training. And then you know there's like 2 or 3 days where they're like, Jason, we're going to take your shirt off in this scene. And he's like not drinking any water. And he's like, he's just eating a bunch of fucking rice at
Yeah.
night. Like,
it's crazy.
it's so precise. It's like this very meticulous, like we weigh your meal, and it's nuts.
I don't like it for a lot of things. I don't mind it for superheroes because I'm like, oh, like they're supposed to like not look like this. So
Yeah. I don't need James Bond to be like
no,
that. Yeah.
like that's the shit where I don't get it, where it's like a Baywatch movie and they look like that, and I'm like, all right, come on, like,
but that was the whole Zac Efron thing.
Yeah.
He was like, I like pasta. I'm not fucking doing another movie
Yeah.
like that again. Fuck that noise. And then everyone's like, but you're dad bod now. And he's like, yeah, I'm happy. Can you be happy
yeah.
for me?
have you seen him in that movie though? Holy,
It's
shit.
insane.
Yeah,
I mean, sorry.
you don't stop trying to pretend like there's some sort of like veil now. Like you fully have just
Yeah.
admitted who you are.
That's true. He's so fucking hot. In that movie.
What's great is that like if you watch the like
And you're like, The Rock is big, but you're
Yeah.
like, he's kind of sexless.
yeah,
but
Zac Efron.
Zac Efron is like, holy shit, like a fucking jungle gym.
Yeah. Like is it Bad or Dirty Grandpa or Bad Grandpa right after
Yeah,
that?
bad grandpa.
And he's still got that body.
He does.
And he does that like handstand thing. Yeah.
Please. Michael Haggerty can only get so hard via us.
That's right. Well, let's talk about Dwayne, Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah. We got a
Dwayne's Rock Johnson.
Rock Hard Johnson. We got to look at his costume a bit more.
Yeah, we're getting another look at it. It has hit the Black Adam costume. It definitely has like the low collar thing,
Yeah.
like where which ones are these? These are the traps.
Yeah.
They like stick out.
So are these. Yeah.
well, that's a different kind of trap. Like it's got the low collar,
Yeah.
like that sort of more classic Black Adam costume. That's really cool. He's also made a point, in his very specific
Yes.
corporate way of saying like this isn't like your normal padded super
isn't
suit.
your
Not even to
daddy's
say that
suit.
people like Henry Cavill is huge, but like the suits have things like that. He keeps talking about how this suit is designed different, and maybe the idea is that he's on this insane shredded thing because this suit is literally clinging to him instead of
It's like putting
Instead
plastic
of-
wrap on your body or something.
like that. Who knows? We still haven't gotten
The
like
front.
the picture of it.
Yeah.
But
This is like the back of the suit, basically.
yeah, but like
Um,
it is not like just Zachary Levi's suit and bigger for The Rock. It's got a different look, a more Black Adam kind of look.
Yeah.
I'm still excited for this movie. The literally the only piece that I get not excited about is like, can The Rock not be brand conscious for long enough to deliver the actual character?
The performance.
That's
yeah.
the only piece that I don't know fits. Like everything else, like the other casting feels great.
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan as Kent Nelson, Dr. Fate. We've got like an awesome Cyclone. We're getting Atom Smasher. We're getting Hawkman.
Your Hawkman. I mean,
Hawkman, Aldous
Aldous
Hodge.
Hodge.
Woo! But you know what I mean? Like
that's
that's
that
the,
held his hog.
it's the one piece I'm not sure about is like, can he be actual Black Adam? And then I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, is he going to try and do like the accent?
Oh.
Like the Middle Eastern accent?
Oh.
Or is he just going to be like, I'm American? Or it's
I mean,
like,
probably the just American thing, but
you're like, oh, look, it's Adam. It's like, no, you tell them it's Black Adam. Wink.
Yeah. Oh no. God, yeah. Bring back that song. But it's interesting that even the material of the suit looks kind of interesting.
Yeah, it does. And it's hard to tell for me, at least.
It's almost like an Italian leathery
From
kind
the
of thing. Like,
it has that kind of thing, but it looks like thin.
yeah.
And that's why I feel like maybe that's more to show off like his actual
Yeah.
form than most suits. I mean, all these actors get big under them. Zachary Levi is big under that suit,
Yeah.
but the suit's also clearly shaped.
Padded, yeah.
Like, so yeah, I'm excited to see more as the movie rolls more into post-production now, as they kind of give us
Yeah.
little hints and teases and reveals and that. I am excited to see more of that stuff.
I'm stoked.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a TV series coming. Madam Xanadu.
Is that actually happening?
Madam
For some reason, I
Xanadu
thought that was a joke article.
TV series coming to HBO Max from Bad Robot.
So this is this the first thing that J.J. Abrams is delivering after signing that big Warner Brothers like DC contract?
I mean, it's the first thing that we're seeing come to light.
But that's what I mean. Like this is the first even thing announced, right? Like
Yeah.
Madam Xanadu. Interesting. Now, is this going to be totally its own thing? Is there any shot of it spinning off of the Madam Xanadu we got in Swamp Thing? Or is this just, we should just assume this is its own thing?
I
right?
would assume that it's just its own thing.
Cool character to like leap into first, like instead of like a dead man or a Phantom Stranger or something like that. Madam Xanadu, really cool shit there.
Yeah, so filmmaker Angela Robinson, Professor Marston and the Wonder Woman and True Blood, is writing the 1 hour drama series, and should it get greenlit? So we're not there yet, but
Right.
I mean, if JJ is behind it, there's a good chance it will. Basically, it'll be produced along with J.J. Abrams and Ben Stevenson. But yeah, I mean, it's HBO hasn't made any specific comments, but I mean, this is the first thing that we're finally hearing from that deal, which is pretty rad.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I
Madam Xanadu is interesting because it's a character that I think the general public knows little about.
oh yeah,
But Madam Xanadu also has a tie back to that Camelot era in DC. If you want to bring in an Etrigan and a Jason Blood or a Merlin,
Oh,
you
yeah.
could do it in a Xanadu
oh
series.
hell yeah,
You know, she's also got like the tarot thing and sort of seeing the future. Like there's cool shit in Madame Xanadu, and I wonder too if they're gonna like take real specific inspiration from that Matt Wagner Xanadu series, the Vertigo series from whenever that was, mid 2000s or something like that.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting given the time that it's not a very like superhero-y character though.
But that's also, I mean, there's the sort of like wink and nod thing that always happens in the comics where the magic characters are like, the capes.
Mm-hmm.
So even they kind of feel that way about themselves.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it'd be pretty neat. I'm excited. Yeah.
I mean, JJ's generally like got a pretty decent touch on anything he's attached to. So
somehow Etrigan returned.
Yes. Not everything is gold.
They were dead the whole time.
Here's something that I think you might find interesting. Okay. Have you seen the new Suicide Squad Funko Pops that got announced?
Yes. Both my wife and I.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we love our little Funko Pops, but then she saw them. She was like, some of these are so fucking cute.
Really?
The Polka Dot Man one?
Oh, yeah.
Looks amazing.
Yeah.
King Shark one looks really cool. I really want the Peacemaker one. Yeah, they look really cool.
I figured
if they make a big, like the big style Starro the Conqueror one, you bet your fucking ass I'm getting it.
Oh yeah,
a giant Starro the Conqueror. Ship it in.
Yeah,
yeah.
Ship it in. Put it in.
Have you looked at them?
Yeah, I did. They were pretty cute.
So, what are your faves out of the?
The polka dot man. That's fucking hilarious. It's really cute. I think. I'm trying to remember which ones I saw. Yeah, the King Shark's really cute for sure.
The Bloodsport one looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's the only ones I can really remember right now. But
there's a Rat Catcher one. Mm-hmm. There's a Rick Flag one that's actually pretty cool looking.
Was there Harley?
There's Harley ones. I think there's one with her in the dress and one with her in like the other kind of more leather outfit.
Yeah. She said that she's basically going to start taking a pause after this, I think. We're doing Harley.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, she's a producer. She's been doing a lot of other stuff, you know. Yeah. She's got other things she wants to do.
Oh, here's some piece of news that I'm curious if you've heard. Phil LaMarr suits up as Green Lantern in Superhero Diary series.
I have not. I don't know what this is.
No? Oh. I'm very excited to share this with
Phil
you.
LaMarr, of course, voiced Green Lantern John Stewart in the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited cartoon from the early 2000s.
Yeah. I mean, he's like classic for doing a lot of like...
he's also the voice of Aquaman in Injustice. He's very prolific voice actor in lots of things, but for the DC fans, those are a couple of the big ones.
So apparently, LaMarr is actually suiting up for real, as he will reprise his role as a Lantern for the Digital Sky and Scott Zachrin created Superhero Diaries, a new superhero comedy web series that features on a mix of superhero action, satire, and of course comedy. LaMarr joins a cast that includes Patrick Bristow, Don Jeans, Hannah Cat Jones, and more. The series debuts on July 21st on YouTube. So
okay,
really soon.
But he's actually playing John Stewart? Like, they've somehow licensed the character from DC?
They keep saying a Green Lantern, so I don't know.
Or they're playing coy with it. It's like...
But he's putting on a Green Lantern
He's putting on green stuff, and he's talking like John Stewart.
He's putting on a Green Lantern costume, so...
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I'm not exactly sure all of the details, but... He said LaMarr is quoted saying, "Yeah, we're breaking the we're breaking the fourth wall, fifth wall, dimensions all over the place. There were very few boundaries in this show, and it's very fun. And it's funny because it's sort of the way the fans think now. Nobody separates them the way they used to. I mean, because before, if you were a Spider-Man fan, you didn't know anything about Wonder Woman, but now it's all the same family. So this is actually the funny, sexy version of nerds sitting in the back of comic book stores like, could Superman beat the Hulk? Oh, interesting. Look at this like photo too.
Interesting.
Maybe because it's a web series, they're just like doing whatever the fuck they want.
I guess, yeah.
I don't.
I guess we'll have to wait and see. I have questions.
Yeah, this is very interesting.
Huh. I mean, that's cool though. I like Phil Lamar. I love his Jon Stewart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm stoked. This is fucking rad. Anyways, next piece of news. The Suicide Squad releases new King Shark teaser for Shark Week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just all a compilation of like the shots we've already seen, like the hand.
Let me look at what it actually is.
Still love that little shot. The trailer where he just goes like nom nom, just fully eats a guy.
The nom
nom nom.
The nom nom is so fucking cute.
I love that it's Stallone. I think that's really funny.
Yeah, let's watch it then. Oh my god.
I love that.
That's a little bit more.
Yeah, more. Yeah, I like the so smart me.
Yeah. Would you eat your friends? No. This seems like it's gonna be such a good movie.
I think it will be.
I have very high hopes.
I'm pretty excited.
I mean, God, just for like
We're like less than a month away from it.
That's
too.
insane.
Yeah.
God, do I love James Gunn? I think I might.
I mean, he certainly seems to have found his genre.
Yeah.
Like
spectacle-y superhero like nonsense.
And supposedly this is like the biggest one he's done, and so practical effect heavy. I'm excited for that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Yeah, this seems like he basically takes these very like small, like ridiculous moments with like these huge action things and sort of shoves them together.
Totally.
I'm fucking so excited. I had to read this title a few times, plus read through the article because I was like, what?
Okay.
New Batman The Long Halloween special from Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale announced.
Yes. And everyone, and it happened on Twitter, and it happened on the docs where everyone was like, tell Richard. So there you go. You've been looking for an excuse to buy more new Jeff Loeb.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is, buddy.
I can't wait to get this new Tim Sale book.
Yeah, I guess it's supposed to be some sort of epilogue or coda to the story.
Yeah.
I'm not fully sure I understand why this exists.
No,
beyond just the corporate money thing.
Money, yeah. It's basically going to continue the critically acclaimed story. In a statement, Loeb wrote, 25 years ago, Tim Sale and I set out to tell a mystery tale of how Gotham City went from crime to freaks. The result was Batman: The Long Halloween. We're thrilled to be back at DC, revisiting some of our favorite characters, all while revealing that you may not know the whole story.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know that I ever read The Long Halloween and went, this is incomplete.
Yeah, I know.
It might be good. There's no reason necessarily to think it won't be good.
They're a good team.
But I don't know
it.
that I know why it's happening.
Like with so many Batman
beyond the
products,
business thing, yeah.
I don't know why it's happening.
Yeah.
Time for the last piece of news. The one that
it's not like someone else died or something.
No, it'll take us quite it'll carry us quite nicely into our theme this week.
Okay.
Aquaman and Green Arrow team up for new series this fall.
It's the team up no one saw coming.
The team up you would think couldn't work because one requires clearly land and the other one clearly requires the water. Let's pull them together where neither of them are as successful.
Yeah. There's going to be, it's like a 6 or 7 issue miniseries, a team up series of Aquaman and Green Arrow. It's called Deep Target.
Such a great 90s title.
It is, but it's also like pick one word from each of them.
Yes. The deep Arrow's target.
But Deep Target does have like a very like Van Damme, Seagal kind of
This summer.
yeah.
You can get it out.
This summer, the only target they'll be able to hit has gone deep.
Nothing wetter than an arrow.
You know I can't trust a air breather. Oh, yeah, fish breath. When two rogue elements come together that threaten the world's safety. Splash, splash. Two begrudging allies.
I don't want to be your friend. Well, I don't want to be your friend either.
I bet you don't even eat pussy. No, but I eat fish. We'll bring an evil empire to its knees. That is what it feels like.
Deep impact.
Oh shit, that's the one with the comment.
Yeah.
Deep target.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I like both of these characters a lot.
Yeah.
And I think it might have been Bokelman or someone pointed out. It's like, this is basically for you.
Yes.
Like,
They got your letters.
Yeah.
Here's your book.
I like it. Give me more weird team ups.
Yeah. Why is it always Green Arrow though? Maybe because he's not really effective.
No, but just give me like Dr. Fate and Boana Beast, or like just give me write a cool story, and if the story brings two weird characters together, make that their thing.
Or use it as a writing prompt. Grab two characters and try to make a really cool story.
Exactly.
I bet you will.
I also like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm definitely getting that.
Well, that brings us into this week's theme. That's right. We are talking about Aquaman.
No.
Oh. We're talking about a much less effective character.
We're talking about the Green Arrow.
Yes. Oh.
Dun, 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 dun.
Beneath giants does he stand.
Shooting upwards into their balls.
Yeah. Under the feet of so many titans.
Listen, Green Arrow is... No, we have questions. I'm not doing this right now. Green Arrow is a great superhero, and just because you're sore because I made you read the AIDS issue...
I mean, that's not why. Also, he's just, got arrows.
Listen, we're going to talk about it. He does not just have arrows.
Oh, he's got fancy arrows.
You're going to have egg on your face.
Yeah, he's got
an egg arrow is what I'm trying to say.
I believe that, yeah. That's how I imagine his life is, just like a Rube Goldberg machine of arrows to do menial tasks.
Like he only sits in one chair at home.
Yeah. Like
frying pan arrow.
Yeah, that breakfast arrow.
Breakfast arrow.
That's how I imagine. It's just like...
It shoots a scrambled egg and a slice of bacon into a pan for him.
It's like your father-in-law, where it's all these things are conveniences, but maybe they're a little bit unnecessary.
It's like an overwrought convenience.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we did get a bunch of questions, so why don't we get into them?
Let's do it.
Well, we're first going over to Facebook.
Going to the face in the book. Going to the Facebook. I should mention that part of the reason we're doing this episode is because, laugh at him or not, Green Arrow is 80 years old. I shouldn't have said laugh at him or not.
I know. Well, you gave me the option. You opened the door. I had to walk through it.
That was my fault.
Yeah. This old fuck is 80 years old.
Quick, take his arrows.
Oh, please don't take my arrows.
That one was my balance arrow.
Oh, that's my diabetes medication arrow.
My dialysis arrow.
That won't release my blood pressure arrow.
So he's just sitting there. He has to like bank shot it like ting, 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 ting into his arm.
Oh, missed again.
At least that hurts less than when I shoot the Viagra arrow.
I was just going to say that's the one that helps me pee.
Catheter arrow.
Yeah. Oh, no.
It's got perfect aim. Gets it right up.
Oh, God.
This feels like a joke that would have played really well on that Harley Quinn animated show if they ever saw like a far future thing.
Yes.
Like That feels like a sort of joke that would play there.
Don't take this pill, Arrow, orally. Oh no.
Get my suppository, Arrow. You know, Oliver, you can't just call them all your suppository, Arrow.
Yeah, sure I can, if that's where they go.
What is this voice?
Don't you worry. First question from Matthew Poulter, Chicken Natty,
Buck.
who asks, what's your overall take on the hit CW show Felicity and Friends? Okay, I love Felicity.
How much of Arrow would you say you've seen?
The first 5 episodes.
You tried to start from the beginning?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I was like, this seems like a soap opera that is vaguely about heroes.
See, I have...
This is like Dynasty.
Yes, it is very much, actually, especially in that first season.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you talk to most Arrow fans, they will concede that season 2 is the season that did it the best.
Okay.
Season 2 has this right balance of the drama, the comic booky stuff. They bring in Deathstroke. They backdoor pilot the Flash in that season. They like some powers and stuff start to come into it.
Yeah.
And it's got a real rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
Season 2 of Arrow is very strong. I would say I'll actually go and say it's great.
Wish I still had a good rhythm. Got an Arrow for that.
Season 1 of Arrow is doing sort of a different thing than what the Arrowverse became.
Yes.
But is doing it pretty well. Whether or not you like it is a matter of taste.
Yes.
But it's doing its thing pretty well.
Okay.
I would argue that there's a lot of faltering and stumbling in between. Season 4 of Arrow is like a real, we have no idea what we're doing now. Mm-hmm. I think season 5 is relatively strong. Near the end, I think they didn't really get it. I actually think the final season 8, is good, but it's because they knew we only have to make 8 episodes. This show is going to end, and we're leading up to Crisis. Yeah. And they got to do that. And season 8, I actually think is a relatively strong ending for the show, but there's a lot of reasons why it gets to be. My overall impression of the show is, I've said it before, that I feel like they missed their mark. Heyo.
I could even get it, Mark.
They wanted to do Batman, and the show is very clearly taking visual and tonal cues from The Dark Knight and things like that. And I think that's a mistake with Green Arrow. They were just like, we want to take what was great about The Dark Knight, but that was also Batman. We can't just do that again.
God, we wish this character
Who's
was
the
Batman.
closest character to Batman?
Yeah.
And they were like, well, Green Arrow. Literally, it's Green Arrow.
Yeah.
And I think that's a mistake. The first season has some very weird, we're going to make it real kind of thing. And then season 2, they're like, there's super steroids. They kind of give up on it. And then the Arrowverse takes on its whole new life with powers and stuff like that.
At least really early, he learns to trust his friends and then never becomes a plot point ever after that.
I think, to the point of this question,
yeah,
I think Felicity in the early seasons is a very strong point of the show.
Yeah.
I think she's good and fun to watch.
Yeah.
And engaging. Where it gets tiresome is where it's like they've overcome a bunch of obstacles and then they're just like, well, now it's too easy for them to be happy. Can he just get mad and leave for no reason? Or can she just go well, I don't trust you, even though she does?
Yeah.
And that's when that shit gets tiresome. But if you want Oliver and Canary to get together, that kind of sucks. But Felicity is good in those first couple of seasons. She's not my problem.
No, for sure.
Yeah, I think that's my general sort of perception there.
Yeah. All right, next question comes from John Spees. Those are John's peas. You can have the carrots. Those are John's peas.
Vegetable collection Arrow.
Ooh, make sure they don't touch. I'm also obsessive.
Yeah, dentures Arrow. Oh, that's a vile noise. I didn't like that.
Well, give me my teeth in. I'm gonna give you.
Oh, what a gross bit.
Yes, don't worry, it's gonna get
Okay,
worse.
all right.
John Spees asks, I like the idea of Green Arrow as a character, but the few stories of his I've read haven't been very good. What are a couple of his best, in your opinion? The one where there's another main character.
No.
Oh, yeah? Tell me one that isn't.
The Green Arrow Rebirth series,
Yeah.
basically start to almost finish. I would say basically when it's the Percy, I think it's Juan Ferreira, Benjamin Percy and Juan Ferreira run of that is really great. I think it addresses the things that are interesting about Green Arrow, about the sort of weird juxtaposition of him being this wealthy billionaire, but wanting to be this very
Robin Hood.
sort of socialist Robin Hood kind of fellow. There's some interesting villains. The artwork is great. The action's great. Black Canary is in there, which is dope. It's a very fun, action-oriented series. That's a great one. So if you want like a reasonable jumping on point too, I would look at that.
Yeah.
It's the Rebirth Green Arrow series is great. We talk about museum pieces usually in the context of Batman on this show, but like Green Arrow's got one too. It's the Longbow Hunters, and that one, it's like a 3-issue sort of prestige series.
It's funny because I'm a short bow hunter, if you know what I mean.
Jesus. And it's quite a good story, technically, except for the fact that it visits like this horrific violence upon Black Canary as a plot point to drive Oliver. That shit sucks.
Yeah.
But it's still like a pretty compelling Oliver story. And in that context of like, we should read the classics and then acknowledge what's wrong with them and move on.
Yeah.
Longbow Hunters is worth the read that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd give a little props to Quiver, the first arc of the Kevin Smith run on Green Arrow, where Oliver comes back to life because he had been dead for a number of years.
For sure.
That's a pretty solid one. There's a lot of interesting stuff in there. You got Hal Jordan as the Spectre in there, and that's kind of fun. And you got Connor Hawke, of course, and who took over as Green Arrow after Ollie died. It's his son, his quote-unquote illegitimate son.
Mm-hmm. I thought Quiver was what you called Baywatch.
That's what I'm doing while I'm watching Baywatch. Yeah. Honey, put Quiver on. Can you please stop calling it that?
Yeah. But there is a lot of good Green Arrow books that have other characters in them that are like
And that too.
team ups and
oh yeah, there's fun team ups and stuff like that. And sometimes in the middle of a run, there's like they did a little thing in that Benjamin Percy Juan Ferreira run where partway through they did a riff on the Hard Traveling Heroes, that classic Green Lantern Green Arrow series that I purposely did not mention because that's them headlining, co-headlining. But they do a fun riff on that where each issue is like him teamed up with a different character. There's a Flash one that really gets to build more of the relationship that actually the show's kind of set up more than the comics ever did.
Wow.
So then to be like, no, people like Flash and Green Arrow from the shows. They like that they have a bond. Let's bring that into the comics. And that's a fun thing, something that the show contributes back to comics. Awesome. That was kind of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that. All right, let's move on to the next question from Chad Bucher. Who asks, from what I know, Batman and Green Arrow always have a beef going. What caused this? Are they just two rich bachelors competing with each other? I thought I almost read that as competing for each other, but I'm a Batman.
So you read my pitch?
Yeah, sorry. I'm a Batman.
The brave and the cuckold Batman and Green Arrow.
That's good. I'm a Batman fan first, but I seem to
take off that utility belt. Reach into my quiver.
I've got a bad thing for everything. Ew, it's bat shaped. Why?
For my parents.
Oh no. Cost so much money to make it look so bad. I'm a Batman fan first, but I seem to side with Ollie on a lot of their confrontations, sorry.
I know they've definitely had confrontations, but I think my interpretation of them is always a bit more friendly.
Okay.
It's not to say they don't have confrontations. They do. They're out there in comics.
I mean, Batman is theoretically a conservative and Ollie's a socialist.
It's, I mean, if you really look at the stories and look at that sort of stuff, I don't even know that that's necessarily true. Let's separate the tired meta commentary about Batman and stuff. If you really look at it, I don't even know if that's necessarily true, but there is a very big distinction between them in which the number one thing is that Batman, even when he's being the most kind of positive version of himself, Batman wants people to kind of rise up and take the thing. He's also just inherently distrustful. It's a stretch for him to trust people to do the right thing.
Yeah.
It is not a stretch for Green Arrow. Green Arrow is saying we actually have to trust ourselves less. Mm-hmm. Not to the, he's still like, someone has to be out here fighting, but I would, if we get too proactive, too powerful, we got to look at that. Ollie's the first one to see that. Batman would be like, well, maybe it's working. Mm-hmm. Not to the full fascist thing, but you know what I mean? Like there are differences between them and differences in operation. And Batman is all about, the fear and terror thing. And Green Arrow is just about doing what's right and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
However, I think for me, there's a couple of things that really solidify the way I see their relationship. And one of them is actually the cartoon. At the start of Justice League Unlimited, which is when they took the cartoon and they were like, what if everyone was in the Justice League, not just like the core 7? That series kicks off with Green Arrow sort of being like abducted by the Justice League. They kind of press gang him into joining the League. And Green Arrow saying like, listen, like, I was stopping a robbery before you guys got me. You guys fight the big thing. You don't even look at the little guy. Someone has to look out for the little guy. You guys are off fighting your big space monsters. And Batman is like, he basically says like, I want you here to watch us. That's why I want you here.
Yeah.
And I want you to watch. I want you here to watch us. And he also says like, those big monsters we fight also step on little guys. So he's saying like, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
It's easy for us to lose focus, but that's why you're here, because this is your focus. You're here, you can help us still stop the big threats that are equally threatening to the people you want to help, but you can also help remind us to just help those people too.
Yeah.
And there's sort of a thing there, but also that's that thing where like Batman is like, I know I'm imperfect kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So To me, that's more how I like to see their relationship. A relatively recent issue of Justice League, it's revealed that Ollie is now paying for basically the Hall of Justice and stuff like that because Bruce's wealth has been like really stripped down after Joker War. And he kind of says like, how is this getting paid for? And Ollie's like, don't worry about it. If you see something that you don't think is right, you tell me. If you don't like how the money's being spent, you tell me. But don't worry about it. Call it. And he kind of has this like, I've lost my wealth a few times before. You'll get it back. Like they kind of have understanding in that. But then there's also comics where like Batman makes fun of him for like ripping off the Batcave and the Batmobile and that because Ollie, especially in the Golden Age, he had an Arrow Cave and aeroplane and stuff like that. Like it was very much like Batman is working, do that again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally. All right. Next question comes from the most interesting resident.
Stephen Marion Almagro.
That is correct. Who are your top 5 Green Arrow villains?
Ooh.
Can I answer this?
Sure. I was going to say, can you name 5 Green Arrow villains?
I got it.
You can't say AIDS.
Okay, I've got it. Number 1.
Okay.
Strong Wind. Number 2.
How dare you? You think he can't fucking compensate for Strong Wind? How dare you?
Number 2.
Okay.
Space. Number 3.
Helmet Arrow.
Water.
Helmet Arrow. Air tank Arrow.
Number 4. Stairs.
Slide Arrow.
Like a bulletproof vest.
Shield Arrow.
Oh, and you know what? No, a gun.
Gun Arrow.
You do
have
an
no
arrow dampener.
You have, a gun dampener on the end of an arrow. You have no idea how stupid you just made yourself look. I have a legitimate top 5 Green Arrow villains.
Let's hear it.
Fucking bullshit. In no particular order.
Yeah.
Count Vertigo is a big one.
Oh, I was gonna say Vertigo as one of the
Kind of almost the point you were making with the strong wind thing,
Yeah.
but from just a powers abilities perspective, a guy with perfect accuracy and that
going
against someone who disorients you.
Yeah.
But also Count Vertigo is like a
Me and
member.
my brother count horizontal.
He's a member of the aristocracy. He represents this like kind of fake entitlement to nobility and wealth, and that it's the exact shit Green Arrow fights against.
Yeah.
Like there's a really good thematic kind of juxtaposition between them. I always will argue that Count Vertigo is Green Arrow's arch enemy. I know there's villains he fights more.
Archer enemy.
Well, he has an archer enemy as well.
Oh my god, of course.
But I'll always make the case for Count Vertigo being like his true arch enemy. And I think that's a big one. So his archer enemy, Merlin, the Dark Archer.
Okay.
Malcolm Merlin. It's all been retconned a bunch of times, but member of the League of Assassins or whatever. He's a comparable, if not slightly better archer than Ollie, kind of, but Ollie always beats him.
Yeah.
Great. Awesome. It's great when a hero has like their opposite thing. So he's got Count Vertigo and also his mirror thing. So he's got Dark Archer in the way that like Flash has kind of an opposite in someone like a Captain Cold or the Rogues. And then he's got his mirror in Reverse Flash. So that's always kind of fun.
You know what always beats Ollie? Kickflip.
Yeah, Bizarro World. He's Nolliver Queen. Nolliver King.
Oh, that's good. Oh, I like
Nolly.
that. Yeah. It's not as easy.
It's not.
He did it goofy.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they have to go to Apocalypse to shred against Dark Slide.
Oh, you should be proud of yourself. You can quit now. God, you're on fire today. Fuck Dark Slide. God damn it, that is good.
So those two are up there for me.
Mm-hmm.
I really like a set of villains called the Ninth Circle. The Ninth Circle is basically like a secret organization that's essentially like a bank for villains.
Ooh, I love that. I
It's
love
the
bureaucracy inside like superhero shit.
Exactly, right? Like the inner workings and they're like, how do villains fund their crazy contraptions? Their death rays, their blah, blah, blah.
Is that just a Despicable Me theme?
It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
The Ninth Circle has this thing, and then it's also kind of like a cult. They induct members. They do this sort of thing to them. Ninth Circle has I love that. Again, really coming at the core of Green Arrow in the way that Court of Owls kind of came for Batman.
Yeah.
I think Ninth Circle is really cool that way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give some love to Onomatopoeia.
Is that the Quiver?
That's the Kevin Smith run. Onomatopoeia is a character that can only work really on the comic book page.
Yeah.
But, just that he's creepy. He's got a great look, a great aesthetic. I love that idea of just him saying like snap.
Yeah.
And then something snaps and shit like that. I think that's cool shit. I like Onomatopoeia. You're not going to convince me otherwise.
For sure.
And then number 5, I'm gonna say Brick, I guess.
House.
Yeah. Well, literally, he's like a crime lord who has this like super tough skin. He's kind of red like a brick, and he's super strong and stuff like that. Sort of like
mighty. You're just gonna let it all hang out?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
He's got vibes of things like Blockbuster or Kingpin or Tobias Whale, or he's certainly not the only one of his type, but I like Brick. I think he's a cool villain.
Nice.
Again, very street level, a great sort of one for Green Arrow's kind of ethos and that sort of thing. And yeah, not one that just arrows just work on. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Like that's pretty good too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's leave Facebook and head on over to Twitter.
That's Twitter.
First question comes from Brandon M. Flick, who asks, hat or hood? Actually, he asked hood or hat.
I'm gonna say hood.
Yeah.
There's a few different designs of Green Arrow with a hood. You know, Longbow Hunters kind of features one. Young Justice, the cartoon, features a cool one that I like. The hat looks good in some designs. It looks good in the Justice League TV show. It looks good in the comics and that, but I think I'm partial to hood. And most relatively modern versions of Green Arrow, even in the comics, have a hood.
Yeah.
I think I like hood.
Yeah.
What about you?
Just a couple boys in the hood. I think that in live action, I think I prefer hood, and I think in comics, it's the hat.
See, here's the interesting thing, though. While I was thinking about this, I was convinced that he wore a hat more in modern comics. And if I pull up just like Green Arrow, you know, like Rebirth or something like that, he's wearing a hood. And it's funny that in my head,
It's a hat.
I'm thinking hat
Yeah.
because it's definitely not. Like he's wearing a hood.
Oh yeah.
Very obviously. I think I'm going hood.
Yeah.
Plus, let's just fully hit the nail on the head. He's Robin Hood.
I'm going hat
Yeah.
because Robin Hood had the hat.
Robin Hat. Yeah. Oh, God.
Next question comes from. There's nobody here named Josh.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Buldor.
Just a name that's not Josh.
Buldor.
Let me try. All right,
Craner.
Josh.
Oh, damn it.
Fuck. Baldor. Nailed it. Who asks, what do you think of his coming back to life story Quiver? So we talked about this a bunch already, but
yeah. So, little recap that Ollie had died. Ollie kind
snapped
of
his board.
Ollie slightly, went off the deep end a bit. He was sort of deeply embedded with these eco-terrorists. They were like, is Ollie gone? Is he in too deep? Blah, 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 blah. And he ends up on this.
Oh my God, that's the version of this book coming out that I want to see.
Deep Target.
He's in too deep.
Target.
Yeah.
That means he went in like shopping and he didn't come out for a while.
Oh.
He's deep in Target.
God, I miss when we had Target in Canada.
Do you?
Yeah, the furniture was
garbage.
great.
It sucked.
And the bedding was really good. The clothing was pretty decent.
It was all pretty garbage.
I mean, I miss Zeller's Masumo, but
Oh, that Zeller's restaurant, my grandma loved that shit.
Oh, yeah. The Zeddy, the Zeller's bear.
Yeah, the one that touched you.
Hmm? The one who looks like Teddy Ruxpin. Ruxpin, that's
him. So Ollie was in with these eco-terrorists, and he ends up on this plane, and he and the other eco-terrorists both have their hands in this thing that's like a bomb.
Yeah.
And he's like, ha, you can't turn it off. And she's like, ha, it's a double deadman switch. And she lets go. And she goes, now, if you let go, this thing explodes. And he's like, well, shit. And it's flying towards Metropolis. Superman shows up on the plane, and he's like, you really got into some stupid shit here, Ollie. And he's like, not really the time, Soups. And they kind of have this sort of, they don't love each other. They're very kind of adversarial here. And Superman's like, I can't get you out of here. Like, I can't shield you, like, with my cape because of just the angle of how you are and near the bomb and that. We can't just let
that seems like an excuse on Superman. He's like, I can't. It's like a
He's
weird...
like, I can get you out of here, and the bomb won't go off. And he's basically saying, I'll take your arm.
Oh.
And Ollie's like hell you will. He just lets go. And the plane blows up in the sky before it reaches Metropolis. And
if you can't shoot an arrow, why even live?
And that's how he dies. And that's itself a reference to The Dark Knight Returns, in which the future Ollie had his arm ripped off by Superman for fighting him and the government and stuff like that.
Wow.
So Ollie dies. And then at his funeral, even Superman like struggles to say something nice about him. He's like,
Really?
Ollie made a lot of mistakes. Like,
wow.
even Superman's like, yeah, I mean, I don't even know that I should be the one speaking here and no one else speaks. Like, it's pretty sad.
Jesus.
So that's how he died. In the meantime, Connor Hawke, his son, comes Green Arrow and is taken over as that. And then in this Quiver storyline, Hal Jordan, as the Spectre, realizes that Ollie has been dead and tries to bring him back, but he only brings back his body because it turns out Ollie's soul is quite happy in heaven. He's like, I don't need to come back.
Oh, wow.
And he only comes back because some other kind of magician is about to use his body and take it over. And he's like, well, fuck that noise. And so he comes back for that.
Wow.
Kind of begrudgingly leaves heaven.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah. I kind of like it. I think it's a neat story. It's certainly an interesting kickoff. And one of, I'm among the first of those, we're bringing back the classic character kind of thing. Because then, you get GL Rebirth and Flash Rebirth and like all sorts of these things come afterwards. But yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the next question from Chris Chan, our favorite religious representative.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah. Who asks, I note his appearance in 0 Hour. Can you highlight other incredulous situations in which he has no business being in? Yeah, superhero shit.
I mean, technically all of them.
Yeah.
Like,
we're going to space.
Well, Final Crisis, like he's in there.
Yeah, there's a multiverse of breaking down. Can I shoot it with an arrow?
He's in Dark Knight's Metal. He's in there. There's crazy shit in there.
Yeah.
But that's part of the...
I hear this creature is like all powerful and multiversal traveling, but are they impervious to arrows?
Yes. Antimatter arrow.
Yeah.
It's like, get me my crisis arrow.
Yeah. Oh my God. Give me my Christ arrow.
Holy shit. He did it.
He nailed him to the cross.
He's got the Shroud of Turin on the end of a fucking arrow.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, technically he's always out of his depth, but that's the thing that makes Green Arrow interesting. Like, Batman, even when he wasn't this sort of bat god, infinitely prepared,
yes,
something for everything kind of character, he was always the master strategist in that. Like, I don't think anyone would accuse Ollie of being a master strategist.
No.
He doesn't have that. Ollie's guiding thing is his heart, and then he has this amazing, very particular accuracy skill. And
got a very particular set
of arrows.
Ones that make me a nightmare for guys of your color.
I was going to say for people like you. What do you mean people like you? Yeah, I mean, but
this is my bat arrow.
But this is the thing that makes Ollie different than Batman. Batman has inspired lots of people. You can see it. The Bat family's fucking huge.
Yes.
He's not inspirational.
Yeah.
But Ollie is us. Ollie is, you are good at something, use that.
Ooh.
Right? Like,
I'm marketing man.
I mean, you laugh at it, but I think even in our work, there is an element of like, this is a thing we are good at. How can we use it not for evil?
I mean, where's marketing? It's always evil.
Fine. I mean,
I just want to be.
I would argue this is bad marketing right now.
No, but I'm doing reverse psychology. It's what I want you to think.
Yeah, does that work in marketing?
Yeah, it does.
Okay,
I'm an expert.
But like that, I think that's kind of Ollie's difference. Batman is among the pantheon. He's the mortal that can. He's Achilles, right? He's like, he's not technically impervious, but he might as well be. He's
got like this combination of like knowledge and skills that basically make him impervious.
But Ollie is us.
Yeah,
he's like Odysseus. He's gonna fuck up a bunch, but he's still part of that story, and he's still one of the heroes of the story.
Yeah.
But like, he does not have all the answers. He does not have infinite skill. He's going to mess it up. People are going to get hurt around him, but he's doing his best, and that's the thing. And I kind of like that about him. So it's kind of fun when he's in things like Dark Knight's Metal or whatever. And then they're like, oh, a Terror reality opened up. And he goes, and he like knocks an arrow. Like, that's fucking great.
Yeah. That's very funny.
You know?
Sure does try hard.
I like it.
Yeah. Next question from Alexander the Alex, who asks, where does the Lemire Sorrentino run rank for you? That was one of my favorite introductions to Andrea Sorrentino, and he has, or is it Andrea?
Yeah, I think they're Italian.
Andrea, Sorrentino, and he has been one of my favorite artists since.
I mean, that run is way up there for me.
Okay.
Not number one, but way up there. And specifically, there's an arc that we did in the book club on the Doc Scored that people kind of roasted me for, but I don't give a shit. I'll defend that arc in the New 52 to my dying day. It's called The Outsiders' War, and they took all this idea that was about like the island and that sort of thing, and they made it's a very Jeff Johnsian sort of thing. There are like 7 clans or 8 clans or whatever it is, but they all have like a totemic weapon, and then like there's a literal totem weapon you can use. So there's the Arrow clan and stuff like that. It's about like the history with like his dad and his lineage and his destiny and stuff like that. But then there's also the Sword clan, and they have the Soul Taker sword, and that's Katana. And then there's like they were bringing other characters in and things like that. The Shield clan and all these kind of things. I fucking love it. I think it's really well executed and really interesting. But also the artwork, Sorrentino's artwork is outrageous. I'll pull something up to give you a little flavor of it here, because I'm not going to do it justice just talking about it. And also, I think you've probably got better vocabulary for like visual design things than I do. Green Arrow Outsiders. So
Sorrentino sounds like me after school when I was in grade school, soaring Totinos.
Yeah. So this isn't from. Oh, here. Just an insane page out of context, but like the look of that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's really nice.
And then there's another one I'll show you that's not from the Outsiders one, but it's a Green Arrow Count Vertigo kind of moment. Similar sort of aesthetic.
Oh, weird. Yeah, it's sort of using this like vectory graphic art sort of thing, like against like this mixed media thing. That's really cool.
It looks dope because it almost looks like they took photography.
Yeah, exactly.
And then drew it out. Mm-hmm. And maybe that is what happened, but I'm not really sure. But I love the layouts. I love the sort of almost X-ray vision little pieces that kind of overlap parts of the art and stuff like that.
Yeah, I like that.
I think that's really cool shit. And that's a big reason that I love that run. Lemire's writing is really solid, but it's the art that really elevates it for me, especially in that New 52 era. That was something different from a lot of what was happening, especially because we weren't all the way over in Swamp Thing and Animal Man. We were still in like basically Justice League's territory. To have something that kind of artistically vibrant was really neat.
Nice.
Yeah.
Next comes from Yeehaw! Braydon. Yes, the donkey rises, who asks, why do Green Arrow and Hawkman hate each other so much? Why is everybody pumping up beefs between Hawkman or between Green Arrow and characters?
I mean, to be fair, Ollie is sort of the king of beef.
Oh, really?
He starts a lot of shit because he's very vocal. He doesn't just like quietly disagree. He's like, we've got to do something about this. You're fucking up.
Which is funny because, again, the least prepared person is the one who's like mouthing off the most. Yeah.
I wouldn't say he's the least prepared. He's just not infinitely prepared like Batman. He's not prepared, but he's just like reasonably prepared, not impossibly.
Okay. Doesn't have the tools to solve the problems.
He does. They're all at the tip of an arrow.
Yeah.
Name a problem you have. I'll tell you how you can solve it with an arrow.
Hungry.
Food arrow. Open wide. No, I'm not going in that way.
Oh.
Just straight into your gut.
Oh.
We're going to bypass the whole chewing thing.
I don't think that's how
it's going to deposit a liquid hamburger into your stomach.
I can't see. I need glasses.
Wait for it. Flashbang arrow. Now no one can see. We're all on equal footing again.
Okay. I apologize. You're absolutely correct.
You idiot.
Oh my God.
Coming to my house. What was the question?
Hawkman. Why what's the deal?
Yeah, they later kind of Justice League comics sort of position Green Arrow as Green Arrow was already positioned as the lefty, but positioned Hawkman as the conservative. So, like, for example, we'll use the example of Identity Crisis, and that's the story where a bunch of Justice Leaguers were keeping this secret about how they not only wiped the memory of Dr. Light, they had Zatanna alter his mind to make him less of a threat. And they voted on it. Now, everyone was keeping the secret, including Green Arrow. So he's not guiltless here, but he was outvoted. He was like, this is a bad idea, blah, blah, blah. But he was part of the pact, so he kept the secret.
Sure.
But Hawkman was like, I would do it again. We should do it to everyone. Kind of in that story. And he's like, this was right. He was a maniac. We fixed him. And Ollie's like, it wasn't his choice. Kind of like, they pit them that way, which makes a lot of sense. And there's some good interpersonal beef there. And there's a lot of interesting room for writing there. But what's funny about that is, as you know, recently I have been reading older Hawkman.
Yeah.
In particular, I think it's Hawkman Volume 2, which is the series that sort of spans when Crisis was happening. It was Tony Isabella was writing that series and stuff like that. I think it's in that series where they explicitly refer to Carter Hall or Qatar Hall as like having liberal tendencies. Like,
really?
Hawkman wasn't always that. I think they might have done it to position him against Green Arrow.
Oh.
That is me speculating. I don't know if that's true or not. But I will say Hawkman was not always the conservative war hawk kind of thing. But they definitely make him that way when Ollie's in the room.
Oh, I figured that they just hated each other because every time Hawkman walked in the room, Green Arrow kept yelling, "Shoot!"
Yeah, pull.
Yep.
He keeps
Pull.
using a net arrow.
Yeah. Kept sending dogs after him. Yeah.
Jesus.
Next question comes from Rick to the E, who asks, people always compare him to the Batman, or to Batman. Do you think he does that thing Batman doesn't do? Do you think he offers a Van Dyke rides? Hashtag arrows eat canaries.
I mean, definitively, canonically, Ollie eats pussy.
Yes, there's books showing it.
He and Dinah having sex. She screams and it blows out the windows in the neighborhood and shit like that. Like, Ollie knows what he's doing.
Yes.
Ollie also doesn't pretend playboy like Bruce does.
Yes.
Bruce is like, oh, I'm gonna sleep with a ballerina again. My parents.
Ollie was the playboy and became Green Arrow.
Ollie is. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he is Green Arrow, but he's also like, I'm also rich. I can still fucking do this.
Yeah. But I think the big difference is that, like,
Batman's like, fucking gets in the way.
Bruce became Batman before he ever put on the costume.
Yes.
Ollie, years, like, halfway through his life became.
Yes, Ollie was fully formed.
Yes.
As the playboy.
Yes.
Before the events of Green Arrowing him.
Yeah. So
happened.
it's not like he's not putting on a persona. That's just like a part of him.
Yeah. So not only will I say that Ollie definitively goes down on Dinah, on Black Canary.
Yeah.
He's fucking good at it.
Yeah.
As for the Van Dyke mustache, very iconic look for Green Arrow. It's the missing piece of that New 52 run. It's the biggest missing piece of the TV show.
Yes.
I think I could forgive a lot more trespasses of the show if he just had the fucking goatee.
That's true.
The thing that I love, and this is a thing that always cracks my dad up, is that like there's a couple of different arcs or things where like Ollie is very much in the public eye. He's on trial or he's running for mayor or he's doing something and he's just got the same look.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, there's one guy in Star City with an insane out-of-date goatee and also our superhero has it too.
Yeah, that's a very good
No
point.
one ever puts it together. I love it.
That's really fun.
That's exactly what I think that is more outrageous than the Clark Kent Superman glasses thing.
Yeah.
Because that's almost subtle.
Mhm.
You know, like Green Arrow is literally being like, guess. Like, oh, no one has really called me on this yet. Maybe I should run for fucking mayor.
That's really just testing the boundaries at this point.
Yeah. And I think there's also a comic, because Travis Morgan, the Warlord, we talk about Skartaris and stuff like that. That character, also iconically drawn by Mike Grell, who also did a lot of Green Arrow's work, has the same kind of goatee, but it's white. And I am positive, I wish I could think of it offhand, I am positive there is a comic where someone comments where they think that they are the same because someone notices they have the same facial hair. And I think that's fucking hilarious.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Next question. Holy shit. It comes from the one and only Dave Rossi.
Oh, engage.
Oh my God. It's been too long. Are you proposing?
Yeah. Dave.
Engage?
Engagement arrow.
Oh my God. Ow! Thank you.
You're welcome.
I do. Dave Rossi asks, favorite trick arrow moment from comics or animation? Go. Hope you guys are well.
There's a moment I
We're
like.
very unwell.
There's a moment I like in the cartoon.
Yes.
So, there was like a little theme song, like not an actual theme song because he never had his own show, but when you met him the first couple of times in the show, there was this theme that played in the back. This is like dun, 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 dun. Just a little music cue, like any TV show has for a big character. And then there's an episode where they're fighting. The character's name is Devil Ray. He's supposed to be Black Manta, basically. And they're fighting a bunch of his like cronies and stuff.
Sure.
And there's this guy on top of a submarine. And all of a sudden, this arrow comes up and it like straps around him and knocks him off the thing. And it pulls like Ollie up on a rope, like a counterbalance thing. As the guy falls, Ollie goes up. But as he's swinging into that, he's singing his own theme song. So he goes like, and he goes, da, 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 da. He's just like doing that. It's so obnoxious.
For a second, I thought you said I thought you were going to say he shot an arrow and it had like a little speaker on it.
No, that would be even funnier.
Yeah.
I really like that moment, though. Like, that cartoon to me captured the right kind of blend of Ollie, where he has like very serious, like philosophy and stuff like that and a mission, but he's also like having fun and he's quippy. And Gail Simone wrote an episode called Double Date where he's like, Black Canary is driving the motorcycle and he's riding behind and he's like, are we dead yet? Are we dead yet? Because he doesn't like how she drives.
That's cute.
Like, that's cute stuff.
Yeah, that's cute.
I like that. I like that there are a few different versions of like how the boxing glove arrow came to be. And the most recent one is in his 80th anniversary special where it's like he's getting trained by Wildcat, Ted Grant, boxing champ, who's like just kicking the shit out of him, basically. And then these people show up, and Ollie like has a broken arrow. He's all out of arrows. They're all broken. Mm-hmm. He takes one, he sticks it in like a loose boxing glove in the gym and fires it. And like, I kind of like that it's the mother of necessity is the mother of invention sort of piece, where he was like not sitting at home going, I should put a boxing glove and an arrow.
Yeah.
But he did it once and he was like, I kind of like this.
Yes.
It's like, it may not even be that useful, but I'm into it.
It's funny.
I like that. I like the trick arrows that do like the foam, the quick expand drying foam thing, like that sort of non-violent incapacitating thing, especially for like super strong characters.
Yeah.
I think there's some fun ways that the arrows do what like batarangs and stuff like that do, and I enjoy that.
Nice.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite trick arrow thing?
I can't think of anything that that's a Paraturi arrow. It's pretty nice.
I mean, also just like a grapple arrow is pretty cool, and actually something that the show pulled off decently.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right. Well, we are leaving Twitter and heading on over to Instagram.
Now we're going to Instagram, take some questions and answer them.
Yeah. You didn't do the yeah.
I'll do whatever the fuck. You're not my real dad.
Oh, no, I'm your daddy.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Are you, though?
Yeah. I can be.
Your shirt is open in a way that makes me uncomfortable.
I got pecs now, too. Oh, yeah.
I mean...
I do. I mean, I don't have, like, Jason Momoa pecs.
Then you don't have pecs.
All right.
That's the standard.
Oh. Time to start dehydrating myself. That's how it works, right? First question comes from C. Robin Bear. Run, Robin Bear, run.
Yeah, that was all I had, too, and then you just said it.
Yeah.
So.
Outside of the lack of quippiness, killing Canary, and the Felicity relationship, what would you change about the Arrow show?
See, this is the thing with the show. I'm going to start with the relationship thing first.
Yeah.
As a reader of the comics, I want just Oliver and Dinah. Give me the Arrow and the Canary. Get me them together. They work great. Yeah. Don't fuck with that. But objectively, of actors and
Felicity
stuff on the
was
show,
too strong. Yeah.
Oliver and Felicity have the only romantic chemistry on that show.
Yeah.
Look at every time they paired Oliver with someone else. It was horrible.
Yep.
They have legitimate chemistry. So can you blame them for going the Olicity route? Of course not. And, like, early season...
Felicifer is what I would have gone with. Yeah.
Oh, that's definitely Olicity. That's the ship name.
Felicifer.
On The Flash in the early seasons, Barry and Iris have incredible chemistry. The poor writing that they do for Iris in later seasons really hurts that.
Yeah.
But if that was the case from the beginning where they wrote her poorly, even though it's not the comics in that, there's a strong argument to be made that who does he have the next best chemistry with? It's fucking Caitlin.
Yeah.
And I know hashtag Snowberry is out there. I know those shippers are out there. But like, this is the thing with the show is like, theoretically, you take the thing from the paper and you put it on the screen and you do it the same and then it works the same. But that's not always how it works. And sometimes it's not even that you miscast the person, but the tone of your show is a little bit different. And then these real life people have better chemistry offset and it bleeds into their scenes. And then you're like, I'm not stupid. I want to lean into the thing that's working. So it's like, it always has to take on its own life. So do I hate the Felicity thing? Not really. Would I have preferred Canary? Yes, but I see why it didn't happen.
Pro tip, the actress that plays Iris.
Yeah.
Solid Instagram follow. You agree?
I'm trying not to be creepy.
You don't want to agree
I think I've made
too
it
hard.
I think I've made it worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, holy shit.
She's a very confident woman.
Oh my God, and every right to be. I do think really though, truly, I mean, yeah, they killed like 4 canaries on that show. They couldn't figure out what to do with canaries.
Yeah.
That's a real shame because that's a great character. But the biggest problem was trying to be Batman. The thing I would change, I know this question is outside of the quippiness thing, but that is the thing. Mm-hmm. He's not Batman. He's not this like grim, my city. You have failed this city.
Yes.
Even if you keep a bit of that, make him a little tougher or stuff like that. Like, fine, it's the CW. Yeah. Oh, rough me up, Arrow. Like, whatever. That's fine.
Give a step on my neck, Arrow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Where's the asphyxiation, Arrow? A little bit of that in there is fine, but he should also be able to like turn around and turn on the charm.
Yeah.
And the problem is, I think Stephen Amell in real life is really charming.
Yeah.
And they never let him do it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the reason everyone in that show instantly finds out he's the Arrow, is because he could never just be like, Yeah, Oliver Queen.
Yes.
Fucking.
Yes.
Like, he can't even fake it like Bruce Wayne. So even if you're doing a Batman show, he's doing it wrong.
Yeah, it's true. 100%.
It's just devoid of charisma, I think,
Yeah.
is the real problem.
Yeah. Next question comes from Delgado Andrew, who asks, how different are the original Earth 2 Green Arrow and Speedy to the ones we're familiar with?
If you go back to their actual first appearance, the story, I can't remember the name of it, but it's very much like, very clearly, I'm not even saying this like flippantly, they are ripping off Batman.
Yeah.
Deliberately and intentionally. They are ripping off. Even the story of the initial Green Arrow thing is pretty close to the Case of the Chemical Syndicate, which was the first Batman story.
Wow.
They're like, except that it starts with him having a partner. Case of the Chemical Syndicate. Robin's not around at that point, but Green Arrow comes out later. They already know that Robin is a thing. So now we got Green Arrow and Speedy. It's just that like, hey, chum kind of thing. He's just this kind of casual billionaire or whatever. I mean, part of what's very different about that one is that they were like, man, billionaires are great. Why would we ever make a character where having a bunch of money isn't fucking great?
Yeah.
But now it's always like, there's always this sort of like deconstructionist thing where it's like, you have all this wealth, Ollie, but like you built the Hall of Justice. Does that do the most good?
Yeah.
Even though he's also doing actual good with the money and stuff. Like we live in a different time. We're looking at that sort of stuff differently. We're obviously very rightfully suspicious of wealth and consolidation of power and things like that in a way that they just were not in the 40s. They were like, well, anything that can stop the Germans.
Yeah.
Take all my money. Like it's... So that's a lot different. The thing that I like that I think is... No, it's not in the Green Arrow 80th. It's in the Stargirl special. The thing that I like is they have... Because that Golden Age Green Arrow and Speedy are part of the Seven Soldiers of Victory, which is like a Golden Age superhero team that included the Crimson Avenger, Star Spangled Kid, Stripesy, Shining Knight, and Vigilante, and then Green Arrow and Speedy.
Yeah.
And in that story, it's Ollie and Emiko Queen, his sister, who is now Red Arrow, and they're off doing whatever. And she goes like, you even ripped off your shtick from the original Green Arrow, the guy in the 40s or whatever. And he's like, that was me. She's like, what the fuck do you mean, Ollie? And he's like, well, the Clock King kind of got his hands on a time machine and he accidentally sent me and Roy back in time and we were stuck there for a bit. So they sort of retconned that like the Justice Society era Green Arrow and Speedy is the real one, but just stuck at a time.
Wow.
And I kind of love that. It's just a very simple, very fun, silly way to make them the same thing. And then you can also write off the character differences as like them trying to blend in.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's a lot of fun. I really like that approach now.
That's funny. I like that.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
It's a summer and sometimes you need to cool down.
Oh, yeah.
On a hot day.
Yeah. What's good for doing that?
Well, if you have like a glass of something to drink and you want to cool it down, you might want to take an arrow,
right,
and put it in a block of ice.
Oh my God.
Next resident could help us with that.
Oh my God.
That's right. The Iceman Customs.
An Iceman Customs arrow?
That's right.
You shoot the arrow and it puts it in a block of ice?
That's right.
Holy shit.
Or the arrow is in a block of ice and you shoot the arrow.
So you just pull a whole block of ice back in the bow?
And then it like slides into a drink. And
oh,
you got ice in the drink.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get an arrow at the end.
There's no way Ollie doesn't have a cocktail arrow.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
It's got the little umbrella at the end.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's good. Iceman Customs asks, you are both tapped by the DC execs to direct a live-action Green Arrow movie. What are we viewers going to expect?
Why don't you take this one first?
Ooh. So I say you're gonna expect to get a different character because we're not gonna make
no. Answer it legitimately. You can't have him like die in the first like 10 minutes like fucking J-Lo and Jersey Girl and then move on to a different character. You're making a Green Arrow movie and you got to make it something you would want to watch. What are you doing?
Oh, jeez Louise.
Come to my house. Think you can weasel out my questions.
This is literally my house.
I don't know. I'm feeling different about it. I feel like I've sort of like spiritually leased to own this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you did make a comment that because I don't go in here when you're not here, this is your room.
Essentially. If I died, you just wouldn't come in here. It'd be like, you'd be like too emotional about it.
Just make it into a different room.
No, you wouldn't come in here.
What would be fun is to do like a Dr. Fate sort of like time travel thing where he goes back to like actual like Robin Hood.
Okay.
That would be fun where it, and because like
this is his first live action movie ever.
Yeah.
You're just going to not even show him being a superhero. He's just going to straight up go back to Robin Hood times.
Yeah. And he's got
where there was a Robin Hood.
Yeah. But for whatever reason, that Robin Hood was on secondment or something. So he has to become Robin Hood again. And so he like then remembers why he does what he does. And yeah.
I mean, that sounds horrible.
You don't want Green Arrow Men in Tights?
That sounds like, imagine if you had a character that was like a pretty big hero on your big hero team and they were in a bunch of your hero team movies. And then like after people were sort of tired and done with that character, you went back and you were like, we'll give you a solo movie and we'll make it too long and it won't be what anyone wants.
Yeah. Clearly you read my script for Aquaman Water Park.
And I also watched the movie we're talking about for the double dose.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Try to top that.
I think it's I think you have to bring it, you have to lean real hard into his like lefty leanings. Ninth Circle is the bad guy. The bank, the bad guy bank kind of thing. You can, if you wanted to tie it into your superhero universe, you could reference that they funded the whatever that happened in or the something over here. But it's about this big, like, there's bureaucracy and an organization.
Like a John Wick kind of thing?
And a structure, and he's just one man.
Yeah.
And he has billions, but like his billions don't do fucking shit to them.
Yeah.
Because they, not only are they outside the economy, they also have more than he does. Like something that the billions help him buy the tools, but the actual money is not. He can't just solve it with that.
Yeah,
and it's just one man against this big thing, kind of John Wick-ish, but maybe more like the element of Die Hard, where not like John Wick, where he's untouchable and he just mows his way through the Ninth Circle. It's that he's like one guy trapped in this building and he's got to get it, and he's all cut up and he's going through the vents and he's got glass in his hair and like all that kind of shit. You know, like something a little more John McClane-y kind of thing. Maybe that's what I want from a Green Arrow movie.
Yeah.
And then some very kind of public thing at the end where people are like, he did it, like blah blah blah. So then you get this sort of Robin Hood folklore thing starting in Star City, that he's the one that took down this thing.
I just want him eating canary pussy for an hour.
An hour?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I would only need like 10 to 23 seconds of that.
I mean, fair. Sometimes you want different parts of it, though.
Yeah, you're right. I want the story.
Yeah.
That's where you put all the exposition.
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to take down the Ninth Circle?
Keeping the money in it.
Oh, hold on. I'll pull him off. All right. Yeah, we did that. Let's leave Instagram and head on over to the Discord. Doc and
they say that a Discord could save us. I'm not gonna score in the dogs.
If you steal my dog score.
Lying on the docks of Scored in morning of last week.
Nice.
DOCSCORD.
Nice.
Yeah, some fucking Len.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get some Len up in this.
Mm-hmm. First question comes from the Bat fan who laughs, who asks, what villain did they get right on Arrow, and what did they get way wrong? I mean, I'll tell you one that comes immediate to mind to one they got right.
Sure.
Ragman.
He's not a villain.
Oh, no, I was thinking more of just like a regular character.
Jesus, man. Come on. Get your head in the game. Stop thinking about the other thing. Stop thinking about Iris West's Instagram.
Jesus.
I wish I could.
Iris West Instagram.
A villain they got right. I mean, a very sort of silly one they got very right was Cupid.
Oh,
like
that's
another
cute.
archer who's sort of obsessed and
yeah.
kind of like a fan that sort of stan territory kind of thing.
Yeah.
I like that. That's kind of fun. I actually think the show did a good job at Deathstroke. Is it the exact Deathstroke from the comics? No, but a very solid Deathstroke, an interesting one. I liked Arrow's Deathstroke a lot. And that Manu Bennett is just like a crazy good actor.
Nanu.
Yeah. Villain they got wrong. It's Count Vertigo. So in the first season, I think it's just the first season, I think he dies. Or maybe he dies in the second season. But because they were trying to go all realistic, instead of giving him like disorientation powers or even technology or whatever, he was like a drug dealer. And the drug was called Vertigo, and it would disorient you and stuff. And then when they fought, he would just like throw darts of the drug at him or whatever.
Ooh, that's a better idea than what I've got.
And he wasn't like from Eastern Europe or anything. He was just that. And that sucked. And then later they kind of did this half retcon where they brought in fucking Peter Stormare to play Werner Zeitel, like the actual Count Vertigo. And he had like the accent, and he was like, "This poser, Count Vertigo, you fight. He's nothing." Like kind of that. So, and I was like, "Yes." And then they still didn't give him fucking powers. So I was like, "Well, fuck." And that's the one they fucked up for me.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
No Count Vertigo with powers. That shit's bullshit.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the next question from Bruno. Bruno. Don't you fucking talk about him like that.
What? I
My
said
boy.
his name.
You said it like he was a dweeb.
Bruno.
No, it's Bruno. Das Vidania.
I want you to alienate Bruno right now. I'd like you to say it as with like a Portuguese accent, but let's imagine you've lived in Ireland for like a decade or so.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see you do this.
Hold on. I'll do it. Hold on. Portuguese? Okay. Okay. And then Irish. Okay. Bruno. There.
It's Mario.
That's a little known fact.
All that fucking buildup, you did Mario.
You put Portuguese and Irish together, you get Italian. Bruno. Yeah, no, that's what you get. You get Irish.
Hey, I'll show her my French flipper trick. Wow, Wario Penguin.
Yeah, off mic, we decided you can't do...
Was that off mic?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, it was.
Yeah, you can't do Wario without doing Penguin.
All that buildup, and you just went, Bruno.
Because that's what... You do it.
Right, so we need the Irish accent.
Okay, you're doing a more accurate one than my comic.
And we need Portuguese.
Yeah.
Tudishna. What's Colin Firth in Love Actually? Tudishna.
Yeah.
So he'd be I realized I was going to do the exact same thing. Wait, hang on. Irish accent.
Yeah.
Irish accent. I'm at full power, Commander Cisco.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Tudishna.
Okay.
Bruno.
I mean, it kind of still sounds Italian.
Bruno?
That's Italian.
Bruno, comic shop here in Ireland.
Oh, that was almost like...
There's no way this is offensive. I don't understand why Bruno's always coming for me. What have I done?
You almost went like Nordic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a mistake, I think.
It's Italian. That's
Yeah.
what it is. That's what the combination is.
I gave you so much shit, and the instant I was about to go, Bruno. Yeah, I was like, well, fuck.
Okay, I'm glad we landed on that.
We did.
Oliver Queen is so insanely rich, he's able to bankroll both the JLA and Checkmate. 1, what possible moral justification can he have to give out against corporate fat cats? And 2, why does the DCU keep pushing the narrative of the good billionaire?
Yeah, and then there's a little addendum thing that I didn't put in here, which is that Bruno told me I can't give the cop-out answer of they need it for the story.
But there is a modern take on billionaires where you make them bad. Like, I don't think that's narratively like you're giving them a storyline.
I mean, I'm going to split a lot of hairs here,
Sure.
and even I'm not 100% sure I buy everything I'm about to say, but
Okay.
I'm going to give it a go.
yeah,
Part of the difference I think that they at least try to make
yeah,
is the idea of like the selflessness. So it's not necessarily always the 100% best investment, right? Like, let's get away from that argument.
yeah.
But it's like if someone like Elon Musk actually gave a shit, we would just have hyperloops and they'd be better designed and he'd pay for them.
Sure.
But he's trying to make money on them.
Yes.
Ollie doesn't make money on the Hall of Justice.
No.
If the Hall of Justice runs tours and stuff, you got to imagine that money's just going back into it.
To continue to keep it running.
He's giving it the upstart capital. He's
Yeah.
funding like the teleporter, that shit that the
Yeah.
gift shop can't pay for.
Yes.
But if there's people working there, things like that, that's self-sufficient or whatever. And if it's not, he's topping it up.
Sure.
So he's not capitalizing on that investment. He's investing it because we want the heroes to be organized and equipped, and
Yeah.
that's his investment.
Yeah.
And so I think that is a line they try to draw, that maybe a possible moral justification for
Yeah.
it. That it's like, this wealth will be consolidated somewhere. Since I have a portion of it, I will use it in a way that the other billionaires won't. And I believe this to be right. Whether or not he's correct is a separate argument, but that's, I think, the idea.
Okay.
The number 2, why does DC keep pushing the narrative of the good billionaire? I mean, in a technical sense, I guess they are, because there's a bunch of good billionaires. Ted Kord,
Yeah.
maybe not billions, but still. Ted Kord, Oliver Queen, Bruce Wayne, Michael Holt. Alan Scott's a millionaire. He runs like a media empire. There's a lot of characters that like run these big multinational things or whatever. I guess technically they're pushing that, but they also have Lex Luthor, and they have Vandal Savage, and they have Talia al Ghul, and these other people of immense resources who are not using it
It's
nicely.
just easier to fucking like fight and cause shit.
I don't know that it's them pushing the good billionaire thing, and more just saying if we didn't do this, some fucking mouth breather would be like, how does he afford all the batarangs? So it's like,
Yes.
make them rich. The
Yeah.
bad guys are rich. The good guys are rich. The ones that aren't rich borrow money from the rich ones.
Yeah.
And I think I feel like it's more a narrative convenience thing than it is like, we really got to make these billionaires out to be real great people.
Yeah, but
Like-
also like the moral of the story is eat the rich and everybody's happy.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
certainly if you're in the camp of like the heroes create their own villains,
Yeah.
or at a certain point, it's not that they're stopping villains from committing crimes, it's that villains are coming for them now.
Yeah.
Like they are the threat. If you're making that argument, then yeah, absolutely. Eat all the rich and maybe that goes away.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's less a mustache there's probably an
twirly
exec
kind of thing.
somewhere at Warner Brothers that's like, yeah, people love how fucking rich Batman is or whatever.
Yeah.
But the actual creators who are like bringing in whatever, like $40,000 a year or
Yes.
whatever they're doing, I doubt that's their agenda.
No.
It's probably more just the narrative convenience of it's got to come from somewhere because we all need to poke a hole in it and be like, didn't this cape get cut last issue? How did he afford that? Like,
Yes.
so they're just like, everyone's fucking rich.
Yes.
Or they know someone who is.
Makes it easier.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, that's fair. Next question comes from Butt, who asks, who is the best Green Arrow villain and why is it Shadow?
Shadow, master assassin, excellent,
Shadow.
excellent fighter, excellent archer, another great
Yeah.
archer,
Mhm.
mother of Emiko Queen, making Shadow the ex-lover of Robert Queen, Oliver's father.
Ooh.
So Emiko is Oliver's half-sister. Shadow is her mother. Shadow is less of a Catwoman type and more of a Talia type. Not more bad than good.
Mhm.
Sometimes their interests line up, or she does kind of care for Emiko in a way, but sometimes she'll also put Emiko in harm's way. There's definitely like a lot of, I'd say, similarities between the Talia Damian Batman thing and the Shadow Emiko Oliver
Okay.
piece, except that Oliver's not the lover. But
Yes.
you know what I mean. I think there's a similar-ish dynamic in there. Shadow's interesting. Shadow is in the show, but they kill her off, and that's like Deathstroke's like, no, that's like his motivation on the
Yes.
show. But Shadow is a much more formidable fighter in the comics. She kind of goes out like a punk on the show.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shitty.
So no, I actually don't. But I don't think Shadow is the best Green Arrow villain.
Who is your favorite?
Favorites Count Vertigo. Best might still be Count Vertigo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's other ones further down the list, Clock King and shit like that. But
Not the best. Yeah.
I like. Yeah, I named my favorites. It's Merlin and Vertigo and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Brick.
All right. Next question comes from Mullet Overlord, who asks, how many times has Green Arrow lost / given away his wealth, and what do his current finances look like?
Lots.
Yeah.
All the fucking time. Sometimes he's presumed dead and someone takes over his assets, and sometimes he's spent it all, or sometimes it gets bought out from under him, or blah, blah, blah. And he always gets
Sure.
it back, and then it always goes away in some other way, or he invests it, or whatever. It's a constant up and down. And that's what I love about that recent Justice League issue, is that he's like, oh, I've been through this a bunch. Bruce.
Yeah.
Like, are you new to losing most of your wealth?
Yeah. It'll come back.
This guy's been through it, man.
Yeah. We're white men who used to be rich. We'll get rich again.
He's like, yeah, don't you worry.
Yeah.
Society is designed to keep us on top.
Yeah.
Which is why I make a special effort to be underneath.
Oh, yeah.
Do you ever do that, Bruce? No.
Never. That's not what heroes do.
His current finances, as Bruno brought up, and as I mentioned earlier, he is currently not necessarily the sole, but the leading funder of both the Justice League and Checkmate.
Yeah.
So he is funding a clandestine espionage organization, and also the very public, very expensive hero organization.
So he rich.
He's crazy rich right now.
Yeah.
And Bruce is living in like a nice walk up, but he has neighbors
Really?
now. He like lives
What?
he lives in Gotham now, which is good. His Batcave is just
What?
like the sewers.
What?
Yeah, I don't know that they've put a number on it, but I would put Batman's current wealth somewhere in like the maybe tens of millions range. Maybe. Because now Lucius Fox controls the billions.
Whoa.
Lucius Fox has the Wayne fortune now.
In like a bad way?
No, a good way, but Lucius has a moment where he's like, I could give this back to you, and Bruce is like, you don't have to. But I think even Lucius is like, I don't think you should have it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's always how I kind of read it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Next question from the other Ryan, who asks, why did the Arrow showrunners think that Green Arrow sucks and turn him into Batman who kills instead?
I think the short answer is just
They wanted to make Batman from the beginning.
the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Well, that, but also the Dark Knight was just so huge.
Yeah.
It couldn't have been more influential.
Yeah.
And the idea of that tone and that realism, like that's what a hero is. That's how we make comic books cool again. Which is like when you look, when did the Dark Knight come out? 2008.
Yeah.
You look over in comics, we're backing up fucking multiverse. We're a year away from Final Crisis in comics. They couldn't be doing more opposite things.
Yeah.
but that, I mean, it's clearly that they obviously wanted that. It's a shame that they didn't try to have their cake and eat it too and make him have a little bit of fucking personality. But they really wanted him to be this, like, I've committed every ounce of my resources and my will and everything to this. I don't have time for love or smiles. I'm like, it's sort of a shame. Because I do think Stephen Amell can be a very kind of fun, charismatic guy. And those brief moments we would get them in the crossovers and that, or when he'd guest on other shows, I'd be like, fuck, his show should be this.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a shame, I think.
All right.
It still kicked off everything else. So, like, it still did something right. It's not my cup of tea, but it clearly worked. Also, I mean, God, we got that fish ladder.
I mean, yeah. Good name for it, because sploosh. Last question from We've Only Just Dan Done. Oh, I fucking nailed that.
Yeah, fine.
I've been singing so much lately.
Yeah, you're all right.
Did you fucking neg me?
Do what I want.
Oh my God, where's this confident
Who are you
version
going
of
to
you?
stop me?
Oh my God.
I got a bunch of new clothes. I'm slimming down a bit.
I wondered if that was new.
It's from Matt.
Is it?
I got a bunch of Matt's clothes.
That's what it is, because I was like, I have that exact same shirt, and I've worn it with Matt.
I got a bunch of Matt's clothes.
That's really funny. Yeah. That makes more sense. Dan Dunn asks, which actor, living or dead, would play Green Arrow the best?
I have two, but they're related, very closely related.
Okay, like they're like same family. Or?
No,
okay.
As in, like, I'm clearly going for a type of actor here.
Oh, okay.
My answer is Errol Flynn, like the actual Robin Hood, and then also Cary Elwes.
Who's that?
He's in Robin Hood Men in Tights, but also he's the guy from Princess Bride and stuff like that. I think I'm looking for that swashbuckler type. That's what I'm looking for. That sort of like roguish charm and that sort of thing. So yeah, like a Errol Flynn, a Cary Elwes, someone like that. Maybe an earlier career Johnny Depp before we knew how much of a shitbag he was. But you know what I mean? Like that type of thing. That's, I think, where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
What about you?
So I was trying to find the exact actor, and I think I have it.
Humphrey Bogart.
No.
Hey, Black Canary.
You know who?
They say the problems of two people don't amount to a quiver of arrows.
Maybe it's because I've been watching. I've been listening to too much Blank Check lately.
Sure.
But Kellen Lutz.
Ooh.
I think
Kellen Lutz is interesting.
I feel like he could do it.
I don't hate it.
Right?
We're still very much in that sort of teen CW zone, I feel. But I don't hate it. I like Kellen Lutz.
Or Alexander Ludwig. He's a lead guy from Vikings.
Oh, yeah.
And he was also from the Hunger Games and Bad Boys. And
yeah.
I feel like
I like that.
Especially like this photo of him.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I feel like he would absolutely. I mean, I'm clearly going for the blonde version.
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, that was also in there too. Like here, I'll show you why I was picking.
You know who I would love to? I don't necessarily know if they could do it, but I'd be curious.
Cary
to see
Elwes in The Princess Bride.
Yes, we're going for very different, like sort of.
But like,
yes.
You telling me that's not an Oliver Queen?
Yes.
Those bedroom eyes?
I don't know if he could do it, but I kind of want to give him the chance because I want to see. I saw him on a Hallmark movie the other day.
Okay.
And I was like, I kind of want to see this guy's career come back.
Eric Roberts?
No. Chad Michael Murray?
Oh. Like as a reclamation project?
Yeah, kind
this
of,
would
like
be
a-
like him,
Like his Pulp Fiction?
his
like,
The Wrestler. or-
Yeah.
yeah. Interesting.
like
I also don't hate that.
I feel
I
like,
feel like I should dislike that more.
I mean,
Lots of people like Charlie Hunnam. I
Yeah.
think there's kind of an argument
He
there,
makes
but
sense.
I also don't know that I've seen Charlie Hunnam be fun enough.
you know who would get cast in it though? Chris Pratt.
You see, I know why the quippy thing,
Yeah.
but I think he's too boring.
But given the right script, he can be very fun.
I don't think I want
Like-
Pratt.
Like Parks and Rec version of Chris Pratt. Like
I don't know.
I know, I don't think I want it, but I think
again,
he's the one who gets
here's another known shitbag, but if you go back to a younger version, younger, kind of hotter, less shitbaggy,
yeah.
publicly version, Rob Lowe.
Oh, you know who should get into who I'd love to see get into shape, and we probably need to deal with that receding hairline. But Tom Felton.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If Tom Felton bulked up, he
Yeah.
could pull this off.
Yeah, but he's also got that like kind of snarky, like shitty sort of thing.
And he's got that kind of like something dark behind his
Yeah.
eyes, kind of. Yeah, I like that.
yeah, yeah. All right. Well, that was
Nice.
the last question.
We did it.
So you know what time it is.
I do.
Time for everyone's favorite game. Can you guess the name of the character based on someone who does not read comics books and describe that character to us?
Barely.
I got it. I got it. I just
Barely
said it so
got it.
perfectly and fast that you couldn't hear it.
So perfectly and fast. This sounds like an excuse you use a lot.
I did it so well and so
It
quickly.
was so fast. You have no idea how perfectly I did it.
You were so pleased that you don't even remember it.
Yeah, you're so pleased that now you're disappointed because you're not anymore.
Yeah, because you were pleased too quickly.
Yeah. You fell from too high a height.
Yeah, exactly. Now you're falling so low. All right. I'm curious to see how quickly you can get this one.
Oh no, don't put that shit on me.
Yeah, here we go.
You've
So-
shown this to your wife.
Yeah, I've shown this to my wife. So
Your
she doesn't-
wife?
She doesn't know comic books. She definitely doesn't know this character.
Okay.
She sends back 4 clues describing what she sees.
All right, hit me.
First clue.
Okay.
Math club that only knows how to do one type of operation.
It's like Billy Numerous or something like that.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From Teen Titans.
Yeah. Billy Numerous. The other clues.
First guess, baby.
It's been a while.
It has been a while.
Been a while.
It's been a while.
The other clues were only casted with Michael Keaton.
Sure. Yeah.
Multiplicity.
Yeah.
Giant chins.
Yeah. Yeah.
And dweeby sextuplets.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah.
Billy Numerous.
A ridiculous character.
A very silly character from Teen Titans and Teen Titans Go.
Were you also able to get it? Were you able to get it even quicker than the Doctor did, maybe?
Unlikely.
Because it was a pretty easy.
Did you get it so quick, so perfectly, so quickly
that you didn't have a chance? Or that you answered it before before the Doctor could even
Yeah.
get it out, before I was even able to ask the question?
Yeah. You think you didn't finish, but it's actually because you're on your way to doing it again.
Yeah. You. The reason why you answered it after the Doctor is because it was the second time you did it. It was your second lap.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. You can let us know, or you can give us a question for next week's episode. Finally, we can do this again.
We are next week.
Oh my god.
We're doing it again.
Oh my god. Yes.
Ragman.
Holy
Next week we're on the rag, baby.
Oh no.
We're-
Yeah, next week we're just
It's
not
that
in-
time of the month. We're on the Ragman next week.
The Doctor and I are not in the mood.
We've got a headache, and we're talking about Ragman.
we're going to be in a bad mood all next episode.
Get us some chocolate.
Yeah, and flowers.
I mean, this is not good.
No?
This isn't
No.
good content.
No.
Send questions about Ragman. We did a Ragman specific episode all the way back, issue number 6
Yeah.
of this podcast. It is to this day one of our most popular episodes we ever did. And we're
Ridiculous.
just desperate enough to go back to that well. We're gonna have a special
yeah.
guest. Bokelman's gonna
I'm
join
surprised
us.
this isn't. I'm surprised that we aren't fucking the Doughboys and this isn't just like Ragman 17. Like,
I very deliberately am trying not to.
yeah.
But let's do Burger King 6.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So send your Ragman questions.
That's right, because if the Red River's flowing, the dirt road's always available.
Jesus Christ.
Send your questions to our various social media platforms like our Facebook.
Dr. DC Podcast.
Yeah, that's right. Twitter.
At Dr. DC.
Not Quiver, Twitter.
Not the way I do it.
You won't hear a titter when he's on Twitter. Because you're not funny.
I'm
Instagram.
hilarious. Dr. DC Podcast.
You can email us.
DrDCPodcast@gmail.com.
Join our subreddit.
r/Dr_DC.
You can always leave us a voicemail.
208-917-3238.
208-917-DCEU.
If you're nasty.
All right. And go to our website.
DrDCPodcast.com or .ca.
Oh, and you heard one at the beginning of this episode. Give us a review.
5-star reviews. iTunes. Facebook. If it's somewhere else, take a picture and send it to us.
Oh, yeah. Take a picture and send it.
Show us where you're reviewing us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I want to see where you're reviewing us.
Send us.
Send us your unsolicited review pics.
Yeah, you can send them to our physical mail address.
Yeah, print them out and mail them to us.
Look, we'll take it.
I will, but it's a long road.
Hey, oh, yeah. And this podcast has never taken a long road to anything.
No, very concise.
Yeah.
How long is this episode? Over 2 hours?
Yep. You can send us physical mail to 301 Hogue Street. That's Hoge Street, Whitehorse, Yukon, Canada. Y1A 1V8 to either Richard Eden or Reed Vanier. We love to get that mail.
Yeah, baby.
And of course, if you want even more content from us, we have a Patreon.
That's right. Patreon.com/DrDC. There's a $1, $5, $7 level. That money helps support us and helps us keep doing what we do. But you get at all levels to join the Discord. It's our awesome fan community on Discord. It's a ton of fun. Lots of stuff always going on there. Games and book discussions and all sorts of stuff. And then at the higher levels, you get bonus episodes every week. You get videos.
That's right.
You get theme polls. All sorts of fun stuff.
Yeah. And if you want even more content, you whore.
Wow. No joke there.
No, just you're a whore.
Yeah. Wow. Good Lord.
But it's okay because I'm into it.
Yeah, it feels like you're digging out of it now.
Oh, yeah. I'm digging into it now. I'm going deep. Deep.
Deep target.
Deep target. Subscribe to our other podcast. We have a supernatural podcast.
Ollie, you can't fight this. This is an underwater threat. It's like, you think I'm afraid of drowning?
Oh.
I eat pussy, goddammit. I'm Oliver Queen.
Not afraid of cats, and I'm definitely not used to the smell of fish. It's vile.
We've made you an honorary Atlantean.
Oh yeah. No, if anything,
Ollie, where did you learn to hold your breath for so long?
Nice. That's nice. I tied it up. You're on point today.
Thank you.
We have a whole other podcast called Ghost Facers, a supernatural rewatch podcast where we go through every single episode of the TV show from CW Supernatural.
That's right. We're about to start season 3.
Yeah, we talk about lore. We talk about some of the real world monsters attached to these episodes.
Behind the scenes production tidbits and all sorts of fun stuff.
Got cool guests. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good time.
It's a much more professional production than what we have going on here.
Slightly.
I mean, lately
It's
not so
also
much.
pretty filthy over there, if we're being honest.
Absolutely. So subscribe to that. Keep listening to this podcast.
Yeah.
And we'll see
This
you next
podcast that I still assume is a Canadian Podcast Award winner.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, it's
Listen, if there's one thing I love about the Canadian Podcast Awards, is how fucking timely they are.
Yeah.
We should find out about 2021 by like New Year, I think.
It's Schrodinger's winning, right? I mean, we don't know, then we still are winners.
They can't say we didn't win if
Yeah.
they don't say ever.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Here we go.
We won.
Yeah, we're the winners. All right, that's it for this week.
Adios.
Ciao, ciao.
Heroes, they always fight for what is right. Live with danger and adventure, they are men of might.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.